Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host TC, and today I will be reviewing the Libtech Doughboy. This board is equipped with Libtech's C3 camber profile, so what that means, it is going to be a camber dominant board, but have a tiny bit of rocker in between the feet here to help with maneuverability, foot steering, that sort of thing. But with that main camber dominance to it, it's gonna help with that edge hold, that pop, and the drive you're looking for to get out of a classic cambered board. This board comes in one size and one size only. It's a 195, or for you Americans, it's 6 foot 5 inches. I rode this board at Arapahoe Basin where it was a warm spring day. There was some cloud cover, but that didn't stop the sunlight from poking out a little bit. It wasn't flat or anything like that, so you could really see where you were going, see all those rocks that started to come out towards the end of the day as everything got sticky and really melted out. But the snow was soft in the morning, it was fast. Towards the end of the day, it got that slow, sticky stuff that really isn't great, but it was a pretty fun day overall, and I used my Ride Fuse boots and Jones Mercury bindings. When we're talking overall flex on the Doughboy, it is gonna be a little stiffer than the middle of the road. That being said, in between the feet here, it is gonna be a little bit softer just because of that C3 profile. It allows you so you can foot steer it. If they didn't put it in there, this thing would feel like a plank. But it is fluid from the nose to the tail, so that main flex point is gonna be right in between your feet. Now, if we go into the stability portion, this board is crazy long, making it crazy stable. It's nice and damp. When I was on that wet, nasty stuff that really grabs you, that almost Velcro snow, it didn't do that on this. Just because I had so much nose on it, surface area to work with, I didn't feel myself getting thrown forward nearly as much as I would on a regular board. So this thing will just haul through it. It'll feel like a tiny speed bump, but really not throw you off your game or anything like that. The first thing I realized when I was popping this board is that it does take a little bit more time to load up. Since that tail is so long, it is gonna actually take a little bit extra effort into it. When I popped off of rollers, I felt that it kind of sprung me a little bit forward just because you have so much real estate back there to load up. It acts as a giant spring, kind of launched me a little forward. That being said though, it really didn't affect how it landed just because you do have such a long surface area here. It was nice and stable on those landings. When I took it off of side hits, I kind of let the lip do the work on that one, and it felt really good in the air. It actually felt really fun in the air just because of how long this thing is. It feels like you're almost flying. It didn't have that wing effect like you do feel on some of those longer, softer boards. This one felt a little bit more stable to it when you were taking off and when you were landing. Remember to like, subscribe, click that bell, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our scheduled programming we have coming out. Butterability. This board is gonna fight you the whole step of the way. At least it fought me that way, where I felt right in between the feet. It wanted to flex up in the slightest bit, but pretty much at the tail and at the nose, whichever side I buttered on, that side really didn't want to flex too much. That whole pretty much press area is gonna be right in the middle. This thing really isn't made for buttering or anything to that effect, so if you can butter it, more power to you. Even though this board is super long, it is pretty fast edge to edge. Just because it isn't gonna be the widest board out there, you can easily get from toe to heel and vice versa. When you're at those medium and longer carves, definitely keep it at speed. Speed is gonna be your friend. It is gonna be nice and stable, so there really isn't a top speed to it, so you don't have to worry about that. When you get to the Euro carves, it's extremely fun. Keep your weight centered. This thing will turn over. You could pretty much almost grab the nose and tail at the same time. So I really didn't have to worry about the boots digging in or anything like that. It'll handle all those carves. The main thing to keep in mind when you're going to stop, like at the end of a lift or anything like that, it takes a little bit more to get this thing, or to get this rotation around to stop it. So keep that in mind. I wouldn't recommend taking it into any tight trees or anything like that just because of how long it is. It does get edge to edge, but it's still a lot of real estate to work with here and swing around in very tight quarters. Rider in mind. This board was designed for somebody that lives on Mount Weird, but in all seriousness, it's just a fun novelty board. It's not gonna be your daily driver or anything like that, but it's just something you want to take out on those odd days. I would definitely recommend taking it out on that super hot slushy day where it's going to get a little grabby for you, where this thing will actually excel. If you're looking for another way to get involved in the community, head on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. What is it, you ask? Sure, I could explain it here, but we have a great video over there getting into it really in depth. I really enjoyed this board. It was fun for pretty much what I was doing on it, not getting too serious or trying to hit any jumps or anything like that, but it was just fun to carve on, cruise, and just kind of surf the mountain, really, where I enjoyed it. It did everything I asked of it. It fucking mowed through all that chunder and all of that nasty crud. I might have hit a few rocks on it, but since it's so long, nothing happened to the base. Sorry, Matty O, but it actually is still pristine on the bottom for you. But overall, it's a great board. It's fun. If you're looking for something kind of weird, definitely pick yourself up one. Comparable boards: the Rad Air Tanker, the Salomon Taka EP, and the Nitro Cannon. Recommended bindings: the Bent Metal Transfer, the Jones Mercury, and the Ride C8. This has been my review for the Libtech Doughboy. If you're still interested in those big boy boards, why don't you go check out a review for one of the novelty boards.